Welcome to River Tales. River Tales is a 30-minute program that will introduce you to fascinating people, take you to interesting places, and enlighten you on important events that happen in our region. River Tales is sponsored by Southeast Missouri Hospital.
At Southeast Missouri Hospital, our cancer program is one of only 25% in the country accredited by the American College of Surgeons.
That means I'm still here to tuck my kids in at night.
We were the first hospital in the region to provide stereotactic radiation therapy.
That means my dream of starting a business is still going strong.
We're opening a patient-centered, state-of-the-art regional cancer center in 2010.
That means I'll be here for my family for a long time.
Why do the people of Southeast Missouri Hospital work so hard to be leaders in breast cancer care? Because of what it means to the people who come from outside our hospital.
Visit Southeast Missouri Hospital on the web or call our health line. Understand your risks for breast cancer and see what makes us the region's most trusted source for cancer care.
This month, we joined the Cape Girardeau Area Chamber of Commerce in saluting the top educators in our area. We start with an explanation of how our educators are recognized, with a visit with Tim Arbeiter, Vice President for the Cape Area Chamber of Commerce, and then a brief story from each teacher. The videos were produced by Relentless Media.
Well, the Educator of the Year recognition is a long-standing tradition. It's actually been around for almost 17 years. Next year will be our 18th year of doing it. But it's the business community's way of acknowledging some fantastic educators in our area. The Cape Girardeau area has a lot of variety and diversity when it comes to education, from public to private to parochial, and then as well as the university here in our area. And we have a lot of educators that spend a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in educating the youth, which is our future business people. So this is our way to give that back to them. It is a lengthy process, and so it's not an easy thing to be nominated to be an Educator of the Year. Well, that process starts in the fall. May of every year, this is when the banquet is held. But the Education Committee, which is made up of business volunteers and as well as educators, the business volunteers really make up the selection committee, and they open up for nominations in October and early November. And that's really the public's chance, and that could be students, colleagues, and also parents could nominate as well too. We open up two separate processes, one process for the K-12 educators and then one process for the University Educator of the Year. And so we close that process in early December. And right before the holiday break, we try to get the nominees their applications. And from there, they choose whether to fill out that application or not. Many don't, but this year we had almost a little under 50 educators nominated, and from there about half submitted applications. And so we have a lot of other educators that are not recognized. They just chose not to apply. Very humble, don't really want that recognition, and that's okay. But again, we try to get those applications out before the holiday break so they could take that time and really pore over that application. Applications are due at the latter part of January, and then the selection committee really goes through each file and reads it and scores it on a written basis. And from there, from the written process, the committee hones it down to the top 8. And from the top 8, they sit down with an interview with the selection committee where they're asked additional questions about their philosophy, success, challenges as being an educator, and then they also are scored based on that. And from the final 8, they select traditionally 4 K-12 educators, and through the same process, the University Educator of the Year goes through a different process with another selection committee. And it follows about the same timeline, but it's just a little bit of a lag on the university just because of the way the semesters work, and we honor that for the faculty here at the university. We try to be a little bit later because we know things get a little crazy with finals week in December and then opening up a school for the spring semester. One of the many things that we do when we notify the honorees, which is the 4 K through 12 and the 1 university faculty member, probably the toughest thing that they have to deal with once they get the call is we have to keep it confidential. They're very excited and they want to tell the world, but we ask them to hold off on that because we'd like to really publicly announce it at our April 1st Friday coffee, which is the first Friday, of course. But what we also try to do is to build up to that. And from there, we ask the educators, again, to hold the date, of course, which is the first week in May for the banquet. But we also bestow upon an honor of giving them a video vignette. And this year, Relentless Media Productions did our videotaping for this year with our educators. So they set up individual interview times because we don't do acceptance speeches at the banquet. It's very funny that our educators, they're great teachers and love being in front of students, but they have really a public fear of speaking, which is kind of ironic in a way. But they really thank us that they really can come to the banquet and enjoy their video and not have the stress of that fear of public speaking. So they're really there that night to be congratulated. Handshakes, pictures, their colleagues are very excited for them. But what we also do is those video vignettes, and then when the film crew visits them at their campus. And so the students get to enjoy their particular teacher, or their colleagues get to enjoy a film crew following them around. But at the banquet, we honor them with the prestigious Crystal Apple Award. And on behalf of the Chamber, we issue them a $500 check. Each person gets one of those. They get a copy of the video. And then we also work with our area legislators to endorse or present resolutions of honor in the state legislature, in the Missouri Senate, and the House of Representatives. Senator Jason Crowell is one of the leading ones to make sure that gets done. He's a big proponent for education, as well as Representatives Lipke and Tracy also eagerly get those resolutions put together for us and get them on the floor. And we present those that evening to the honorees. So they walk away with a lot of accolades, a lot of congratulations, but then we also try to pump it up in the media. But we also work with our newspaper, our radio, and our TV folks to really give them recognition, because we don't give our educators enough recognition, and we're only honoring 5 that night, but we have hundreds upon hundreds of educators that really work very hard to educate our youth and to set them up for successful stages in life. What the viewers will see immediately following my comments are some videos of the 5 honorees. And again, it's a small testament. We couldn't incorporate everything that are involved in each of these individuals, but in going through the review process, I was awed about the diversity of their lives, not only professionally but personally, and what they do for us and their community and their kids. And again, this is just a small sampling. Our educators spend an inordinate amount of time inside and outside the classroom, preparing for that next lesson, or preparing for that next test, if you will. But more importantly, they try to prepare themselves to be ready for their students, when their students need them the most, maybe that pat on the back or that hug. Because again, life is difficult and our students need that support in the classroom. And these educators, again, small sampling of what you're going to view next in the videos, small sampling of some amazing educators we have in our area.
Rivertales is proud to recognize these educators and say thanks to all educators who have dedicated their professional lives to education. Congratulations to the 2010 Educators of the Year.
My name is Crystal Cerney, and I teach English at Central High School here in Cape Girardeau. I came to Cape Girardeau by way of North Texas on my way to Illinois, where I graduated from high school, and I chose Southeast Missouri State University as my college. I student taught at Central High School in the spring of 1981 or so, and then became a homemaker. And after 18 years of homemaking, I entered the field of education and got a job here at Central High School. The only thing I've ever wanted to be is a mom and a teacher. So when you're a mom, you teach. And when my children were old enough, I entered the workforce. And the thing that drives me is my passion to learn, my own personal passion to learn. My students, I'm most passionate about them. Are they in a place where they can learn? Are they okay when they're down? The mother hen mode kicks in, and I want to know what I can do to fix it, what I can do to help them feel better. And sometimes I know I can't do very much except maybe give them a pat on the back or a word of encouragement. As a first-year teacher, I was quite nervous. I was 42, a little older than the average first-year student or teacher, and I had a class of 30 students. It seemed really large at the time, but now it doesn't. And they were a pretty sharp group of kids, and we're doing literature, and I'm standing in front of the room pontificating and teaching, and I, out of the corner of my eyes, you're always aware, or you become more aware as a teacher, of what's going on peripherally and what's happening in different places. And the room had divided itself perfectly, 15 boys and 15 girls, except on this day, 2 boys broke apart and sat at the front. And I could tell that they were up to something. And I thought, okay, what is it going to be? What are they going to do? And the whole time, I'm kind of in the back of my mind worried, what are they doing? Well, I was aware that one of them was taking a piece of paper and slowly making it into a nice compact ball. And I talk with my hands all the time. So I could see this playing out where they were going to play pitch across the front of the room with each other, and they thought they would probably buffalo me and I'd be flustered and have a fit and the whole 9 yards. And I remember just lecturing and talking, whatever I was doing, and out of the corner of my eye I could see, like in slow motion, the hand comes up to throw the paper wad across the room, and I just very smoothly, without stopping, reached out and intercepted it and caught it, and the other guy is on the other side of the room going, whoa, never got there, and the kids applauded because everyone could feel what was happening. But I thought that's what teaching is. You never know what's going to get thrown at you or through you or by you, and you just have to be ready to go with it. And that was an eye-opening moment. It was funny when it happened. It doesn't seem significant, but you have to always be ready to be one step ahead and reach out and grab the unexpected. Be ready for it. For the award, I have to start with my parents. My mom was my first teacher. My dad gave me a sense of adventure to be fearless and go out and find new places. Teachers that have been important to me from first grade through high school obviously have been important. Mentors here at this high school, Pat Cooper, who was my mentor teacher, and Susan Heckmatt, who took me under her wing and showed me the way, and Julia Jorgensen, our librarian, who showed me the ropes of Central High. College professors that have been with me through my college years and who continue to correspond with me and help me and give me ideas. There's just no one teacher who makes it on her or his own. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to make a teacher. So anyone who's ever positively influenced me deserves the credit for whatever I have become.
My name is Mark Cook. I'm principal here at Jefferson Elementary, home of the gifted and talented. And to try to sum it up, I'm the principal here. To try to sum it up is difficult, but basically I'm the instructional leader. And it's my job to see that the boat stays on course and we do everything we can to help the kids achieve. And I started teaching 6th grade at Franklin Elementary 30 years ago, back in 1980. Sounds like a long time ago. 1980 Franklin, 6th grade. A lot of good years there, 17 years there at Franklin. And then I went on to Alma Schroeder as an assistant principal for a year. And I also taught math here at Jefferson. I would half day at Alma Schroeder and a half day then at Jefferson. And then the very next year I became principal here at Jefferson. And it's been great. And this is my 30th year total. And that's pretty well the history of it. I love the success of kids. And I think the neatest thing, it is really cool seeing all the changes and strategies we've implemented here at Jefferson. To see the school be able to make great gains and be able to become a real wonderful culture for learning, okay? That's really cool, and that's been exciting. The last few years, we've implemented a lot of really cool stuff and a lot of cool strategies, and to see them in place. But I think the most important thing is, even beyond that, is the fact that watching kids be successful. If I'm walking down the street, and years ago I taught a student, wherever it was, whether it's a Jefferson kid or Franklin or Schroeder, and they say, hey, you were my teacher or you were my principal, and you know I went on to college, and I went on and I'm successful now, I'm in a profession, I've got a job, I'm making a living, contributing to society. That's And I don't know if everybody agrees with me. There's a million stories. There's a million stories, but to me, it's the success of the kids, especially when they come up to me one-on-one and tell me about it. I love that. In a community school, you've created a climate in that school whereby it is part of the community. Parents feel at ease coming to our school. The kids feel safe, and the teachers are teaching the best strategies and using the best strategies that they can, and helping kids to be able to achieve in that kind of environment. That's where the passion lies. Creating change and sustained change, not just for change's sake itself, but actually the implementation of strategies that really make a difference and seeing that they consistently are implemented. I have passion about that. I'd like to thank my wife and my family. Lana puts up with a lot of stuff, but anyway, being a principal is not always smooth. It's rocky sometimes. But I'd like to thank her, my family, my boys, but I want to thank, too, my teachers. I have the best teachers. I pride myself on getting the best teachers I possibly can. The #1 indicator of a child's achievement is, we all know, it's the teacher. And when you have good teachers, like I do, they do the job.
My name is Tracy Hagerty. I teach at Central Junior High School, where I work with the Communication Arts Department. This is my 10th year in education. The first 5 years I was at the high school here in Cape, where I worked with the Special Education Department and Self-Contained and Resource. Then I went to the middle school, where I taught 6th grade for 1 year and 5th grade for 3 years. And now I'm here at the junior high school. I received my undergraduate at Southeast Missouri State University and my master's through William Woods University in elementary administration. I live here in Cape with my husband Bobby and my 2 children, Josh and Zach. As a teacher, I think my passion lies in helping the kids build their self-confidence. And when they come to you and they're struggling, and just knowing that you can reach out to them and that you can do a little bit more to help them believe in themselves more. For many of these kids, I'm the only consistent in their life. And when they come to school, they know that I'm going to be here and that they can count on me and that they're safe with me. And so many of my students may not have that in their homes. They may not have someone who's there. Mom and dad have to work evenings, or they're working 2 jobs. And so they know that when they come here, I'm going to be here for them. And so that, and along with watching the kids grow day in and day out at the junior high level, no 2 days are ever the same. You never know how the kids are going to come to you, what kind of mood they're going to be in. So every day is an adventure when you're working with 13 and 14-year-olds. I'm hoping that they walk away with a passion for learning. And if you motivate kids and you make learning engaging for them, they're going to want to continue to learn and continue to stay in school and get through school and move on, even possibly through post-secondary. So that passion for learning, if I can instill that in my students, I feel like I have done my job. Beyond just what I have to teach them at this grade level, it's pushing them on to want to go on to the next one and continue in their education. A student I taught my first year teaching, which was back in 2000, and she came to me as a freshman. I had her for 4 years, and this young lady, her mother passed away her senior year, and her and I really built a good relationship, and she depended on me maybe above and beyond what you do for a teacher, but I reached out to her and we made a real connection. And this year she called me and said that she needed to get her driver's license and she needed help studying because reading was always something that she struggled with. And she knew I'd be there for her, and she knew that I'd never made her feel stupid by not giving her difficulties about her reading ability. And so we went to the library and we sat down for 3.5 hours and we studied, but we talked about her kids and we talked about her husband, and just knowing that that young adult now can reach out to me from 10 years ago, to me was just such an honor and it really made me remember why I teach. First of all, I thank the Chamber, who honored me with this award, as well as Andrea for nominating me for the award. I also want to thank my parents, who have always supported me and stood by me in my decision to be a teacher, and especially my husband and Bobby and my 2 children, Josh and Zach, because they're the ones at the end of the day when I'm out of patience and I'm a little cranky, I come home to, and they accept that and they accept what I do and support me in my job.
Hi, my name is Virginia Sandra, and I am the junior high math teacher at St. Vincent de Paul's School here in Cape Girardeau. And as the math teacher, I have those 3 classes. I have an algebra class that I teach. I've been teaching here at St. Vincent's for 40 years. When I first came to Cape, I was just going to be here a couple of years because I'm not really from this area. I'm from north central Missouri. Went to school in Kansas, got a degree from St. Mary College in Leavenworth, Kansas, and have a master's degree from Loyola University in New Orleans. I have taken a few classes at SEMO, enjoy going to math workshops to keep updated on things. The things I enjoy most about my job, I guess because every day is different. I really like it when a student who struggles suddenly gets something, or they haven't been doing well and they suddenly do well on something, and even when you send the paper home, a parent sends a nice note back. I also enjoy, because I am an 8th grade homeroom teacher, I enjoy the group things that we do, and we do a lot of group things with our 8th graders. We went on the March for Life in Washington, D.C. We go into YMCA, Safety Patrol ball game. I really enjoy all of those activities. I think we try to make the 8th grade year a memorable year for our students, because they've been here for some of 9 years because they went to kindergarten here, and they're ready to leave. So we have to do something to keep them interested. One year when we went on the March for Life, we ran across and there were a lot of vendors there, and we ran across a vendor that was selling shirts, and you couldn't see the whole shirt, but I thought it said Virginia Rocks, as being from the state of Virginia, and so I made a big deal out of saying, oh, I want one of those shirts. Oh, I need to have one of those shirts. Well, as we got closer, it said Virginity Rocks. And the kids thought that was hysterical that I wanted that shirt. And so at graduation that year, they called me up front, and I thought they were going to do something silly like make me dance or something like that. But no, they had a gift for me, and it was a shirt that says Virginia Rocks. So I do wear that shirt once in a while. One of the first groups I'd like to thank is the Chamber, because I know they put a lot of time and effort into trying to choose someone to be the recipient of these awards. And their efforts and their work is appreciated, I'm sure, by all of us. And I know there's a lot of deserving people. I'd also like to thank my colleagues, the people that I work with, because I think without having a strong team at St. Vincent's, and especially in our junior high as the students move from room to room, if we don't have a strong team and a good working relationship, I don't think any of us could be successful or would feel like we wanted to stick around for 40 years. So just like to thank the people I work with. And then I think also my parents for the value of an education that they instilled in all of us, because there are 7 of us children, and neither of my parents were high school graduates even. My dad was only a grade school graduate, but one of the things that he wanted for all of his children was to have a college education, and we have attained that.
I'm James Stapleton, and I am the Executive Director for the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship and a faculty member in the Department of Management and Marketing in the Harrison College of Business. I have a Master's of Business Administration degree and a Master of Science degree from Southern New Hampshire University, and a PhD from Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. I really started my career as an entrepreneur, which is the area that I teach in now. And so as a successful entrepreneur over a 10 or 11 year period, I began to think of ways that I could help other people at the end of that time, and obviously look towards education to do that. I really believe that entrepreneurship is a life skill. It's really more about a way of behaving, a way of living life than probably anything else. I get to work both in the community, helping individuals that are clients at the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and helping students who are trying to explore and learn more about entrepreneurship. I believe that most people learn by doing. So my own teaching philosophy is to try to engage students in the sort of activities that most simulate the real world. So I'm really passionate about trying to bring those kinds of opportunities into the classroom, and then try to provide opportunities for students outside of the classroom. Well, I really love the fact that what I do now has a chance to help people move towards their goals. So when you wake up every day and you know that what you're doing is really helping others strive towards their goals, move towards what they like to accomplish in life, frankly, you don't need much more than that, or at least I don't feel like I do. Well, I have to begin by thanking my colleagues in the College of Business and certainly the colleagues that I have, other faculty members in the Department of Management and Marketing. I work with a great group of individuals in the College of Business, including Judy Wiles, who is our department chair, and Dean Gerald McDougall, both of whom provide the kind of support and inspiration really that any person like myself needs. I certainly also want to thank the administration at the university, both for leading us through some challenging times recently and certainly into the future, and also for their compassion about trying to help lead some economic development in our region. I want to thank the staff at the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, where I spend a lot of time during the week helping individuals from the community for the dedication they have to helping folks try to reach their dreams of starting small businesses. And probably most importantly, my wife for sort of being my partner in this journey from a career in entrepreneurship now into higher education. And as an educator herself, an elementary educator, she's my favorite teacher.
At Southeast Missouri Hospital, we deliver nearly twice as many babies as any place else in Cape.
That means Maggie was born without a care in the world.
We were the first in the area to establish a neonatal intensive care unit.
That means Nick and his dad are already having their man-to-man talks.
We're the region's first and only hospital to achieve national magnet recognition for excellence in nursing.
That means Patrick and Peggy are used to the royal treatment.
Why do the people of Southeast Missouri Hospital work so hard to be leaders in childbirth? Because of what it means to the people who come from outside our hospital.
In 2009, we achieved our second Health Grade's Outstanding Patient Experience Award and ranked in the top 10% nationally.
That means Carly and her mom are feeling very comfortable in the world.
Visit Southeast Missouri Hospital on the web or call our health line. See what makes us the region's most trusted source for childbirth care.
First and foremost, this banquet cannot occur without the volunteers. The business volunteers on our education committee are very committed to this event. They spend at least 15 to 20 hours going through this nomination, interview, and selection process. It's a significant amount of time, and I wanted to thank them for taking that time out. Our volunteers and our members make our Chamber of Commerce very successful, so thank you to them. For that evening, Relentless Media Productions for the videos. The Plaza by Ray is hosting a great event and great food to honor our educators. To our event sponsors, again, we cannot do many of those events without sponsors. And so I'd like to thank AT&T Missouri, Cape Girardeau Career and Technology Center, Marathon Benefits Groups, ING Financial Advisors, Cofel Distributing, Missouri State Teachers Association, Nordina USA, Saffron, and William Woods University. Again, I could not thank these event sponsors enough for their donation of resources to help us put on this event. Those event sponsors contribute cash to the Chamber to help put this event on. That would not be possible. We could not keep our ticket prices as low as we do without those sponsors. And most importantly, throughout the year, our area is very blessed, our chamber is very blessed, that we have some corporate and executive partners, and what those are sponsors, top-level sponsors for us that contribute to us annually in order for us to continue to present phenomenal programs and events for our members and our area. And so I'd like to thank them. So let's start with our corporate partners, Ameren UE, Capitol Bank, Benton Hill Investments, Montgomery Bank, Mississippi River Radio, KFES 12, WQ-TV, P&G, Nordina USA, Southeast Missouri Hospital, Mid-America Hotels Corporation, Southeast Missourian, Russ Communications, Concord Printing, St. Francis Medical Center, and Withers Broadcasting. Those are our corporate sponsors. And our executive sponsors, Alliance Bank, Biokiwa, Booty Unichim USA, Carpenters District Council, the Cape Girardeau office, Delta Companies, First Missouri State Bank, Merrill Lynch, Osborne, Diamond, and Beckham Group, Northwestern Mutual Financial Network, the Hawes Group, Southeast Missouri State University, The Bank of Missouri and U.S. Bank are our executive sponsors, and we cannot thank them enough. Those businesses' contribution to us, again, pole vaults us into the next level for events and programs and member services that we provide.
Each month, we will take this journey where there are many places to go. There are many interesting people to meet, and so many new things to see. Join us again on River Tales.